ISM Raceway had some dramatic moments with the new layout. Kevin Harvick started strong, then Joey Logano took over to win Stage 2. Gary Owen had a couple of hard impacts, resulting in a poor finish, dropping him down the standings. Daniel Suarez picked up his first win and earned himself a playoff spot, and now the Cup Series heads to Auto Club, where there has been dramatic finishes in the past. Will we have one again today?
Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. As you heard from the intro with Jay, we're going to be racing in Auto Club today, coming off of ISM Raceway where Daniel Suarez was able to pick up his first career victory and lock himself into the playoffs, as we have a 6-point buffer over Ricky Stenhouse Jr. We currently hold the last playoff spot coming into this race, so that's not too much of a concern because, this is very early in the season, so I'm not really too worried at this point. But we made the second round of qualifying, and this was as far as we were able to make it as we came across the line. This is my second lap. We hit a 38.9, and we just barely missed the third round by just a couple tenths, so we'll start P14 for Auto Club.
Hello everyone. Today, NASCAR wraps up its annual West Coast Swing with a stop at Auto Club Speedway for the running of the Auto Club 400. Auto Club, located in Fontana, California, is roughly 50 miles due east of Hollywood. The stars of NASCAR are ready to take the stage and tackle this 2-mile D-shaped asphalt oval. Drivers like Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, and California native Jimmy Johnson will all try to grab the spotlight with a trip to victory lane. This fast and wide racetrack has multiple grooves, which means lots of passing opportunities. So grab your popcorn. Today should be quite a show.
Alright, there you have it from the BRN guy. We are ready to go green from Auto Club to finish off the West Coast Swing early on here in the season. Trevor Bayne sent to the back with a pre-race inspection failure, and then there we are ready to go green. We didn't lose any spots because Trevor Bayne qualifies mid-20s every race, so it doesn't matter. But we're going to be starting alongside, I believe, Brad Keselowski, and behind the 20 of Eric Jones, green flag is out, and we are underway in Auto Club. We get a decent launch to start the race now behind the 20 of Eric Jones. You see the 78 and the 18, Truex and Kyle Busch lead the first two rows as we go through turns 1 and 2 for the first time. We're going to try and make the outside work to the best of our abilities here, just try and stay in line as we have Ryan Newman behind us who could pounce any moment to get to my inside and make it 3 wide, but thankfully we don't have to worry about that down the back straightaway. As we clear Ryan Blaney, we fall to P15 now as we have a bit of a checkup in front of me, so we get to the bottom behind Kurt Busch, and now we're going to get to the inside of Eric Jones and Kurt Busch, and at the turn 4 we might even be able to get to the inside of Austin Dillon as we get to his left rear quarter panel. We're going to try and use the draft from the 2 car to hopefully clear the 3 by the time we get to turns 1, but it does not look like we're going to be able to clear him as we have completed the first lap of this race. Now side by side with the 3 car into turn 1 as Kurt Busch is going to look to make it 3 wide, but he has to back out for the moment as we slide up the track. You could hear the tires skid right there. The back end just kicked out just a little bit once we entered the corner, but we still gained time out of turn 2, now down the back straightaway, getting the draft from the 11 car of Denny Hamlin as we try to get around Brad Keselowski. They had a pretty good entrance of the corner, but we're going to have a much better exit as we are 3 wide in front of us with Hamlin, Bowman, and Almirola. I was going to try and force a 4 wide, but once I moved up the track, the momentum just completely died in the car as we get into the wall down the front straightaway. We're going to ignore that happened. Now Bowman and Keselowski side by side into turn 1. We're going to run a pretty high line in turns 1. I was really interested to see how the lines would really affect how I ran here. And the outside, as you can see, worked pretty well as we come out of turn 2. Down the back straightaway, we were able to get alongside the 88 of Alex Bowman and just about clear of him once we got to turn 3, but he was able to get back alongside my inside. Now on the exit of 4, we do gain a little bit of time on the 11, but it seems like turns 1 and 2, you can make the outside work. But the other corners, I don't really know yet. But this is a few laps later now as we are alongside Kurt Busch down the back straightaway, battling at this point for a P11 and 12 as we crossed him over in turns 3 and 4, and we were able to get to his inside, and we got back past Kurt and clear of him as Bowman battled up in front of us with some other drivers. Now as Kurt came along once again on my inside trying to get around me, he clears me for the moment, but we should be able to use the momentum to get back alongside him. As you can see on the exit of the corner, big run on the exit now as we try to clear the 41 and get to the 10 or the 14 of Clint Boyer. We are now clear of Kurt Busch down the back straightaway as we're going to be approaching lap 9 of 14 in stage 1 at the line. As you can see, they battled 3 wide up ahead of us as we go all the way down to the apron trying to get past the 14, and we clear him in one shot. So we have entered the top 10 just past halfway through this stage. So we now are in a points paying position as it stands now as we try to get to the back of the 88 car of Alex Bowman as we approach turn 1. We're going to run the outside once again. We're running about 4 or 5 lanes up, and it seems to be working pretty well as now we come out of turn 2 with a solid run down the back straightaway on the 88 of Alex Bowman. We could give him a little bit of a shove maybe going into turns 3 and 4. Now trying to run the middle line is Bowman. He pushes up a little bit and gets off the throttle, and this is going to allow me to get alongside of him on the exit of the corner just about now as I could go down and even try to side draft him, but I decided not to, and that allowed him to clear me now as we have 5 laps to go at this point in stage 1. The positions in front of us really seem to be switching all around because everyone's kind of battling 3 wide quite often up in front of us, which is causing some guys to drop back, allowing some guys to move forward, so you're not really safe in any position right now as we come to just 2 to go in the stage. You see Elliott fell back now alongside Alex Bowman now as we're going to try and force a 3 wide down the back straightaway as we go into turn 3. We have Clint Boyer lurking just behind me now as we go into the corner on the inside of the 88. The 9, he backs out, so Chase Elliott decides he doesn't want to be a part of this 3 wide, and we do clear Alex Bowman on the exit of turn 4, and that brings us to the white flag in stage 1 as we're trying to hold off this pack of cars of Bowman, Boyer, Chase Elliott, and Kurt Busch. We're trying to keep them all behind me now as we come out of turn 2, trying to hang on to P8 in stage 1. Obviously, we're not going to catch the guys in front of me at this point. They have got a very large gap between themselves and myself. Now as we go down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4 for the final time in stage 1, Boyer looks, but he's not able to get to my inside, but we get on the apron and get a little bit loose, but we're able to hang on to the car at a turn 4. Logano, he falls back to 7th, and we're going to get P8 in stage 1, which will award us 3 points to start this race. And your stage winner is going to be, it might be Kyle Busch. It's not Kyle Busch, I can see up there. I think it's actually, yeah, it's Kevin Harvick. So Kevin Harvick earns himself a playoff point. Everyone's pitting, so I decided we're going to come in and we're going to take 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires and no positions lost. So that's really good for us. Everyone took 4 tires as we got Denny Hamlin starting in front of me, Joey Logano on my inside as we're ready to go green for stage 2. The green is back out. Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick lead the first 2 rows to green as Denny Hamlin's going to force a 3 wide up the middle between himself and Keselowski and Eric Almirola now as we're going to follow through, and Keselowski gets hung out. And now we're getting hit. We're in a 4 wide situation. We get hit in the right rear by the 2 car and get really loose, but we do hang on to it as William Byron forced it 4 wide on us going into turn 1. And that was a very ambitious move by the 24 to say the least, and that could have created a bit of an incident, but thankfully we all held on to it because Keselowski lost many positions now as the outside works once again in turns 3 and 4. We get clear just about to the 9 on the exit, but just not enough now as he gets some momentum on the inside of me going down the front straightaway. We're going to have to rely on the draft from the 14 or the 41. The 9 has the 41 to draft off of as we go into turns 1 as Harvick, he still leads, trying to get the victory here in Auto Club. He should have had Las Vegas 1, but he was unable to seal the deal after we had Brendan Gaughan going basically the wrong way on the track. Now as we get clear of the 14 down the back straightaway alongside his teammate, the 41 of Kurt Busch, as we go into turns 3. William Byron having a really good run, I must say, as we get alongside the 11 and maybe even the 78 is by the time we get out of turn 4, but we're not going to get there. But we're going to be on the outside of Denny Hamlin as we cross the line. We might need to side draft him. I decided we're going to let him go for the moment. It's a little too early for that as Chase Elliott. He gets a run back on my inside, so really kind of hard to maintain position in this track right now because everything is just 3 and 4 wide, just about, just cycling back and forth. Now Chase Elliott, he gets just to the inside for a moment of the 18, but now he drifts back must have lost the draft or something because he lost quite a bit of speed going down the back straightaway into turns 3. We get into the back of Kyle Busch. That's not what I wanted to do, but we got to the inside of him now as we're 3 wide in between the 2 Busch brothers. We have Kurt on our inside now and help from the 48 of Jimmy Johnson behind me as we need to try and get out of this 3 wide situation as soon as possible. As we go into turns 1, we are clear from the 41, but Clint Boyer is going to force it on my inside, and we get hit in the left rear into the side just about at the 18. We push up the track, but thankfully we hold on to it as Jimmy Johnson gets to my inside now down the back straightaway. We should be able to clear him, and we did just that and gain a few more positions by the time we hit lap 7 in stage 2. We got up to 7th place behind William Byron and Martin Truex Jr. as they battle side by side, and I'm going to force it 3 wide on the exit of 4, but it's not going to be enough to stay alongside as we have a car spinning in turns 3 and 4. It's Ryan Newman now around, and he's going to come back on the track, and he's going to get hit by Corey LaJoie, and into the wall almost he goes, and that's going to bring out a yellow flag for the first legit caution of this race as Denny Hamlin currently leads, and this might force 2 laps to go in the stage. I believe it will be 2 to go as we get ready. No one pitted, so we're going to be restarting from P7 as the green flag is back out. It is going to be 2 laps to end stage 2 as we have a really good restart. This is the best restart we've had all race, and I take full advantage of it. I already forced it 3 wide of the inside of the 78 and the 9 of Chase Elliott, trying to get up to P3 behind Denny Hamlin and maybe even have a chance to win the stage now as we're alongside the 9 as we exit turns 2. We're trying to clear ourselves off of him, but he hangs alongside for the moment down the back straightaway. Denny Hamlin trying to clear Harvick into turns 3. Pretty even with Chase Elliott into turns 3 ourselves as we have Truex behind me. Harvick, he drifts up the track. We should be able to get past Harvick now on the exit of 4. He's going to hang alongside for a moment. I believe we're pretty even. Yes, we are pretty even as we come to the white flag in stage 2. Hamlin with a couple tenths of a gap right now. Just about clear of Harvick into turns 1. We do finally get past him as Chase Elliott, he rides behind me, and Harvick's going to try and battle back, but it's not going to be enough as we exit turn 2 for the final time in stage 2. Down the back straightaway, still a couple car lengths between myself and Denny Hamlin. We're going to have to kind of hope he screws up turns 3 and 4 as we're going to have to send it in pretty hard to try and even win the stage, and I'm going to go all the way down to the apron. Hamlin moves up the track as we get to the back of him, but it's not going to be enough. He's still got a foot or 2 between himself and I as we exit turn 4. He stretches the gap back out, and Denny Hamlin is going to win stage 2, and we're going to get second. So that will be a playoff point to the 11 team, and Denny Hamlin now, as everybody up front here is going to be pitting. We only have 21 to go, and we have 15 laps of fuel, so I decided we're going to do about, I would say, a half a can would get us to the finish, but we did 1 can to be safe, 4 tires, and hopefully that cycles us out to the front, but as you can see, it did not even come close. Everybody must have taken 2 tires or something, because now we are all the way back towards like 40th place as we go green to start the last stage. This is not what we needed, and I believe we do have some slow cars towards the front that stayed out, so this is going to be a very interesting final 18 laps to end this race, as we're not the only top car up back here. We have Eric Jones back here as well, and you got Ryan Blaney as we get into the back of the 15 of Ross Chastain, but there are some fairly big named cars back here, so clearly that tells me that we had some guys stay out now, so that's going to make things interesting as we get put into the wall by the 15 of Chastain. We're just going to continue to run the top now as we get to the outside of Gray Galding, Austin Dillon as well, Suarez right here, he got his first win in the last episode. We got Logano back here. I'm really just curious to see where the 11 of Denny Hamlin is, because he was obviously leading at the end of stage 2, so that will set the benchmark of where we need to be, I guess, as we get into the side of the 23 of Gray Galding, but we hang on to it. I just straight up came down into him. That was my fault, but this is certainly not going to be an easy task for me to get past all of these slow cars as Bubba Wallace falls way off the pace behind us. I'm not sure if he got pinched out of a 3 wide or something. That's probably what happened, but look in front of us. It is just a straight up pack race as we have a huge checkup, and I almost get into the back of someone. But they are really 3 and 4 wide up ahead, and it's happening several rows back right now. I mean, this is more of a pack race than what you get in this game at Daytona and Talladega right now. 3 wide though on the inside of Ryan Blaney into turns 1 and 2. We do clear the 12 of Blaney and go alongside Ross Chastain for the exit of 2. Now into the top 35, and now we come to lap 38. That leaves us 13 to go. We did gain a few more positions as we came alongside the 3 of Austin Dillon. Going into turns 1 and 2, we got our teammate Jamie McMurray that we're going to come alongside now and easily clear him with no problem at all, as we really started to get this outside line working. Now coming alongside of the 2 of Brad Keselowski down the back straightaway as we go into turns 3 behind Alex Bowman. You can see just how many rows deep it is, 3 wide, as we take full advantage of it, and we go 4 wide along the outside of many cars here to break inside the top 20 now as we get behind Ty Dillon and alongside as we cross the line. It's 12 laps to go, I believe, at this point in the race, going 4 wide in turn 1 with Dillon, Logano, and Byron now, as we should be able to get past these guys. We clear the 13, and hopefully we can get into the top 10 very shortly here, as now we try to get alongside Clint Boyer, but he's going to come up the track and kind of throw a block. I don't think it was an intentional block, but he certainly, I had to at least back out of the throttle to not slam into the back of him. But we do get up to P11 as we pass a bunch of more cars. Brendan gone, we cleared him, and now alongside Clint Boyer and Jimmy Johnson now to turn 4 to break into the top 10 finally. It will be 11 laps to go once we cross the stripe, as we still have several cars here that are pretty slow, so we should maybe even be a top 5 car. Once we get past the slow cars, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But with Kevin Harvick, he was running 3rd at the end of stage 2, and now we have cleared him for P8. And hopefully we can clear Hemrick here. We will easily clear him for P7 down the back straightaway. But you see, now we come to a few laps later, Harvick was able to get back past me. And now we got Truex on my bumper, and we're in P5 right now as it stands. And Ryan Newman, he is pretty much the last slow car that's in the way. Denny Hamlin is currently leading this race, and you see he is long gone. He's got about, I would say, a 2 to 2.5 second gap just on myself. And you see how much Newman is holding up Chase Elliott, as we're going to take advantage and go alongside the 9 into turns 3, and hopefully we can follow Kevin Harvick around. As Chase Elliott's going to move up the track right in front of me, I have to get off the throttle. Truex forced it 3 wide on himself and I, and he's going to do the same thing to Newman and Harvick, and he's going to gain several positions with a brilliant move now as we come to 7 laps to go, and he gets up to P2 now, and now hopefully we can get around Harvick and get up to 2nd ourselves as we go a little too wide in turns 1 and 2, but hopefully we'll have that run on the center of the corner and the exit to maybe clear Boyer. I think he's the only car we have to deal with. Yes, it is. So we clear Boyer. Oh no, we do have Newman on our inside. Thankfully, I noticed him there, but we get down into P4 now as we try to close in on the 4 of Kevin Harvick for P3 as we get to the inside of him now on the exit of turn 4. He's going to stay even with me down the front straightaway as Denny Hamlin. He's continuing to just check out here, and he's just hoping that we don't get a caution at this point, because if there's not a caution, he's likely got this race in the bag, as Clint Boyer's going to force it up my inside into turns 1 and 2. I was not anticipating that, and that was unfortunate because it's going to drop me back to P5. Unfortunately, now is Ryan Newman. He settles out in P6, but we were able to get back past Clint Boyer for P4 now as we come to just 3 laps to go in this race. As you see, the gap between myself and Harvick and Truex has increased, but we slowly start to reel them back in, coming to 2 to go this time. You can see the gap now is 1.5 seconds between the leader and myself. So Denny Hamlin, he's got this in the bag, as Truex trying to hold off Kevin Harvick, and we're trying to get into the mix as we close up even more in turns 4 now behind the 4 of Harvick, trying to gain another spot or 2 if we can. It does seem like maybe we are closing in on the 11, but it doesn't really matter as we hit 2 to go. I mean, it's going to take a caution to close in. We have gained 4/10 on the 11. It is 1.1 seconds now, the gap between myself and the leader, which means that the 4 and the 78 are also closing now as we go down the back straightaway. Still a 1.1 second gap, but we're just going to try and get up to 2nd if we can now. Now into turn 3, Harvick's going to send it in much lower than the 78. If Truex is going to slide up a little bit, but he does gain time on the 78 now as he is all over his back bumper, as Denny Hamlin is going to take the white flag in California. 1 second between himself and I. The white flag is out. Harvick, Truex, and myself all in the battle for 2nd place still. We're kind of lurking back, but we still have a chance as Harvick gets to the inside of the 78 in turns 1 and 2. This should allow me to close up on the back of them. Now on the exit of 2, they are still side by side down the back straightaway for the final time in Auto Club. Still going into turn 3, we're going to have a shot to get around these guys as we go to the inside. They force it side by side still as we go to the apron. As we force it 3 wide under the 4, and he has an issue. Harvick has an issue, and he's going to force himself into the wall along with the 78 of Truex, and he bounces off the wall. He's going to hang on to the car bar. That's going to allow me to steal second place in Auto Club. I'm not sure what in the world just went down, but it really paid off for us. That was a pretty dramatic finish, and I think Kevin Harvick lost a tire. I believe that's what happened, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It looks like it to me, like it looked like a right front went down, and unfortunately the 78 was on his outside when it happened, and they went into the wall together, and we were able to just sneak by and get second, and Harvick was considered a DNF for some reason, even though he crossed the line, so he doesn't get credited for second. He gets like 39th or something like that, so that is going to be a large hit in the points for him, especially if he doesn't have a win to lock himself into the playoffs, but he should be okay. He's having a good points run, and we're now 9th in the regular kind of season point standings, as it was interesting to finish that race as Denny Hamlin obviously wins and locks himself into the playoffs. Good for him, and that's the best finish for us, second place. So we're doing good.
Great top 5 finish. That was impressive.
Nice white screen behind Austin Dillon.
You're a natural. Great job.
All right, there you have it with the video messages. Denny Hamlin, that top 5 finish was pretty rad. I just love to watch Gary Owen race. Okay, Kyle Busch is not happy. I'm not sure what he's not happy about, but it's Kyle Busch, so we're going to provoke him. Could Kyle Busch be our first rival? We're going to find out. I would rather have Chase Elliott being my first rival personally, so I can wreck him without any regret, or I wouldn't feel guilty if I wrecked the 9 car. But next will be the truck race. It's going to be Las Vegas. I thought it was going to be Martinsville because the Cup race is Martinsville, but it's actually Las Vegas on Martinsville Cup weekend. So that will be in the next episode. We're going to see how Hailie Deegan can do. I can tell you that this race also is probably not going to go well for us because the truck at this time still wasn't in great. It didn't have the best stuff. Where you can see there, we're like a 70 to an 80 on the kind of the overall rating. So it's going to take another race or two to really upgrade this team to be competitive, I think. So we'll save that obviously for next episode. But if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Those would all be incredibly appreciated. And there's the point standings or playoff standings, as I will see you guys in the next episode for Martinsville. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a great day.